The Astros and left-hander Mike Hampton taking on the Padres and ace right-hander Kevin Brown.
What will they do for an encore? Baseball fans knew before this series started that the Astros-Padres could be something special. 2 games, each decided by a run, making for 2 days of high drama and memorable moments. 16 strikeouts for Kevin Brown. And this is turning into one for the ages.
That one is on its way, and Derek Bell has broken the spell. His first postseason hit, a big fly.
This one is slicing back, and
The home run. It is tied up. The Astros have won the game they had to win, and they're going to San Diego tied at 1.
now the scene has shifted, but the taut residence remains just the same. Tied at a game apiece, the Padres turn again to Kevin Brown, their Game 1 hero, on short rest. In a series where runs have been scarce, the heat is now on Mike Hampton as he duels Brown on his home turf. The tension builds. Tonight's heroes are waiting to emerge. Game 3 next. A huge crowd is gathering at Qualcomm Stadium for Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Astros and Padres. A record crowd, more than 64,000 people expected. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Ray Knight, and welcome to our telecast as the Astros and the Padres now moving here to San Diego. Before we talk about that, here's Kyra Cooper with the national anthem.
What's so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we fought. That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner land of the free.
Kyra Cooper with our national anthem, and the huge crowd is in quite an electric mood right now. They are ready to cheer as the Padres play this pivotal game against the Astros and Kevin Brown. 16 strikeouts in 8 innings in Game 1, coming away a winner, working with 3 days of rest tonight against Mike Hampton, the Astros' fine left-hander, who finished up very strong after coming back from a leg injury. He had a very fine September. Once again, I'm John Miller with Ray Knight, and welcome to our telecast. And this huge crowd, it's an all-time record baseball crowd to watch Brown and Hampton. And, of course, the Padres are kind of shooting the works in this one, Ray, because Brown is going on short rest. They're kind of going for it all right here.
Well, I think they are, and this could be really great for him. Brown is going to be effective, though. He's almost a freak of nature. Yesterday, he was out there throwing a ball 200 feet, long toss, preparing for this. He's a guy that has often stated that he can go on 2 days rest, so we're going to see how effective he is tonight.
All right, and, of course, the Astros were unhappy with the way that they approached Brown in that first game, so we'll anticipate them going a little bit differently against him here tonight. The Astros and Padres, the only series still going. Game 3 next.
Why is Padres America on America Online?
Email's great.
It is quite a sight here. The huge crowd. It'll be the biggest crowd in the history of San Diego Padres baseball. They, of course, enlarged the stadium for the football team. And tonight, all of those seats are taken. They expect somewhere in excess of 64,000 will be here for this one. Here's the Astros batting order now against Kevin Brown. Craig Biggio leads off at second base. Bill Spires, the Game 2 hero. And he's had a very fine series up till now. Derek Bell in right field. Jeff Bagwell hits Freenup at first. Moises Alou in left field. Carl Everett in center field hitting 6th. Ricky Gutierrez, another one of the heroes on Thursday at short. Brad Ausmus is the catcher. And Mike Hampton is the pitcher batting 9th. And on the mound for the Padres, the outstanding right-hander, Kevin Brown.
Yeah, Kevin Brown this year won 18 ball games. And when you talk about a man that has great stuff, talking to Biggio, he said his best pitch was his four-seamer. Everett, best pitch is sinker. Alou said his best pitch was his slider. So a little wonder he only gives up 225 hits in 257 innings, 257 punch-outs.
Well, this guy's got a lot of best pitches, that's for sure. And, you know, he did not win a whole lot down the stretch as the Padres finished the year in a terrible slump. They just could not score runs for him or for anybody else. And so he finished with 18 wins, which might cost him in the Cy Young voting. But he was second in the league in earned run average, only to Greg Maddux. And just 2 wins behind the league leader, Tom Glavine, who finished with 20. And when you talk to these hitters, they'll all tell you who's the toughest to hit.
Yes, they will.
That's him. Here's Craig Biggio, and it's in for a strike.
And that's a big reason right there. He comes right at you, just relentless. He just has a warrior attitude. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, sinks the ball about 93, 94. Throws a splitter and a slider that just keeps right on going. We were talking about that earlier, John, how flat his slider is.
And the fastball in there for a strike 2 call. Now, one thing that kind of threw the Astros off was the four-seam fastball, that high riding fastball that he threw much more than they'd ever seen him before. And he was getting a lot of his strikeouts with that, and he was throwing at 97, 98 miles an hour. 2 strikes to count. 1 and 2.
Well, that's exactly right. That's what Craig Biggio, I spent some time with him tonight before the game, just kind of getting an idea what was different about Kevin Brown. He said that he had never seen him throw as many four-seam fastballs as he did in his last outing. He thinks of him as a slider sinker-baller.
Strike 3 call on the outside corner. So Biggio is now 0 for 3 against Kevin Brown in this series with 3 strikeouts.
Well, defense for the Padres, pretty much the same all year long. Leyritz playing first base. Kibio Vera is playing with numerous injuries. Actually has a strap around his left shoulder, a couple of shoulder separations early in the year, slight separations, looking for surgery in the offseason. Great third baseman Caminetti there. He's been hampered with injuries all year too.
Here's Bill Spires now. Got the winning hit against Trevor Hoffman on Thursday, and he takes up and in for ball 1. And of course, by now you know the well-documented story, which we talked about at length on Thursday in our telecast from the Astrodome, that on the day off on Wednesday, hitting instructor Tommy McCraw had a little bit of a meeting with his hitters. That's a strike on the outside. And said that he thought that they had gotten away from their regular game, which was hitting the ball to all fields, not trying to pull the ball. He says, hey, that did us well for an entire season. Let's not get away from that now. And we saw them change that style back to their normal style against Ashby on Thursday. But again, I think as your detail with that story, you asked 3 different of their sluggers, what's his best pitch, and they all had different answers. I mean, the guy, no matter what your style, if he's right, he can be almost impossible to touch.
He's going to wear you out. It goes back to the Seavers, the Ryans, the J.R. Richards with their stuff. With 2 or 3 good pitches and being smart, as Brown is, he works all quadrant to the strike zone. He thinks you're going to right field. He'll just wear you out on the inside part of the plate.
Off the fists. Gomez. 2 gone. Well, he has come right out tonight, throwing strikes, getting ahead of him. He struck out Biggio looking. He gets Spires to jam himself 2 down.
Well, this is what happens when people want to go the opposite way. You just bust him right in on his hands. You see him shorten his swing, bring his hands into his body there, and Kevin Brown's smart enough to do that. He'll adjust after one pitch after he sees the way you approach him as a hitter.
Now Derek Bell. There's his first slider of the night. That's in there for a strike. Now, Derek Bell finally got his first postseason hit, and it was a home run, and a big one, in the 8th inning on Thursday. On the other hand, as the sinker misses, Bell against Brown, it's always been a study in futility. He has struck out 8 times the last 9 times that he's faced him. Just missing on the outside of the slider.
Well, it's so seldom that you find someone that can throw the ball elevated, that 4-seam fastball that you ride, 97. Then you can find somebody that throws 91, 92 sinkers, and then the slider on the black all the time.
Bell into right field, into the corner. Gwynn on the run. He's there. And already that's a better hit ball than we saw anybody get against Brown on Tuesday. The Padres coming up.
A lot of...
Everybody's got their San Diego Padres rally towels here tonight. And the Padres had their own problems hitting this Houston pitching staff. In fact, they've had their problems hitting anybody's pitching staff here lately, which concerns Bruce Bochy. He said he's hoping to see Ken Caminetti break out of it. They really need his bat. Let's take a look at Bochy's batting order now. Kilvio Barras, second base. Tony Gwynn hits second in right field. Greg Vaughn moves up to third in the batting order. Joe Morgan thought that was a good idea Thursday, and Bruce Bochy thinks so tonight. Caminetti said he's feeling better than he's felt in weeks at third base. Jim Leyritz, nearly a hero on Thursday. Another dramatic postseason home run in the 9th inning that tied the ball game. He's at first base. Steve Finley in center field. Carlos Hernandez, the catcher. Chris Gomez at short. And Kevin Brown is the pitcher batting 9th. On the mound for the Astros is left-hander Mike Hampton. And he had an interesting take on this one. He said, hey, it sounds like the way the Padres are approaching this game, like they've already won it with Kevin going. Because I don't have anything to lose. I don't feel like there's any pressure on me.
Well, he can say that. I don't believe that. There's pressure out there anytime you take the mound in a game of this magnitude. What Mike Hampton has to do, he's a sinker, slider. The slider he cuts a little bit, change-up pitcher. He has to keep the ball down. If he doesn't keep the ball down, and the indicator of that obviously is ground balls, he will get hit hard. Not overpowering. Gave up 227 hits in just 211 innings.
And looking as though he were feeling a little bit of heat right there. Overthrowing on the first pitch.
And usually when somebody says they don't feel it is when they feel it most.
Don't quit telling us so much about how you're not feeling any pressure.
And this place is packed, isn't it? I've played a lot of ball games here. They've added a lot of seats out there. But there are a lot of people here tonight.
2 balls and no strikes. I told you to get the tickets early, but you didn't listen. Here's a look. More than 64,000 here. That's a strike, and it is 2-1. And if anything, Hampton has always kind of looked up to Tom Glavine. And I guess he would, if you're going to say there's one guy who reminds him, it would be Glavine. 2-1 the count. And then Child at third with Spires, and Veras is out number 1.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons he reminds you of Tom Glavine. As we look at the Astros defense, Everett has been playing center field along with Hidalgo. They've been platooning at third, Spires and Berry. Biggio, obviously, the key to this infield. 5-time Gold Glove winner, may be winning another one, although he's had serious competition this year with Morandini and Brett Boone. Solid defensive ball club.
Tony Gwynn, and the curveball is in there for a called strike. Gwynn drove in a run on Thursday. Chased the bad ball. Quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Always a shock to see that happen. Gwynn struck out 18 times in 461 official at-bats this year.
Once he's out ahead of a pitch like that, you can look for him to hit the ball somewhere to left field.
Biggio bobbles it, picks it back up. Gwynn not running well with that Achilles tendon problem. 2 men gone, and out Greg Vaughn, the 50 home run man. moved up to third in the batting order. Joe Morgan made the comment in our telecast Thursday from Houston that, like Mark McGwire and very often Sammy Sosa, when the big slugger hits third, it means he's going to bat in the first inning. That's something that may weigh on the mind of the opposing pitcher.
It certainly does, and it also gives you that one opportunity maybe to come back around in the ninth inning and get another slot. Anytime you're one slot down, that's 3 slots in the batting order going around it 3 times. So
first ball swinging, a pop fly, shallow right field. Biggio out. Still going out. Trips and falls, but holds on to it. And it's an 8-pitch first inning from Mike Hampton. No score. Bagwell, Alou, and Everett coming up.
Nobody loves
It's a cool night. Kevin Brown now to Jeff Bagwell. Look out. And that apparently made some kind of contact with his shirt, and Bagwell is awarded first base.
Well, Baggy is always on top of the plate, and he dives towards second base. Watch how he starts his movement there. Hits his shirt, so he's lucky. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That doesn't put a bruise on you. Nice little easy way to get on. Just nicks his shirt there.
But I have a feeling that that's not exactly what Bagwell had in mind when he went up there.
No.
I mean, he's one of their sluggers. He's looking to do some damage when he goes up there.
But that's the way you have to pitch him. You have to pitch him tight and not let him extend those big, strong arms, and that's what Kevin Brown does as well as anybody.
Well, this is another guy who can hurt you. Moises Alou. That one makes it through the middle. Bagwell will stop at second base. Man, that's just a little squibber, and somehow it made it through. This is a very fast infield. So 2 men on with nobody out. The Astros have an early threat here against Kevin Brown.
Well, he comes right at you, so you might as well go up there hacking. That would be my advice if I was a hitting coach. Don't let him get ahead of you. He's going to come at you. Be aggressive. Everything's hard. The ball was not hit hard. Craig Biggio said before the game that they had felt that the Padres had softened up around home plate with Brown pitching in that great sinker. But that'll also help Hampton. And that ball right there was hit pretty hard, but it certainly didn't have much on it going through the infield.
Now Carl Everett. Slow bouncer to second. There's the tag for 1. 2. Double play. Bagwell to third. The most action-packed 3 pitches I've ever seen. A hit batsman, a single, and a double play, and he's only thrown 3 pitches in the inning.
Well, this is a great job by Kilvio, coming in, making the tag, knowing that he's going to have the double play, not throwing the ball to second base, keeping the double play intact. But his whole time, all the time, he's thinking he's coming to the ball, forcing Alou to run out of the base path. He'd have been out anyway, avoiding the tag, but nice little double play, and looks like the Astros are going up there swinging the bat.
Now, if you were his manager, would you say to Moises Alou, Moises, you maybe shouldn't run right into an out like that?
Absolutely. You can do 2 things there. You can stop and run back to first and get in some type of rundown. You don't know what happens when the ball starts getting thrown. Or he can run into that fielder after he's made the catch or made the play, spin him around, and maybe dislodge the ball from him.
Ricky Gutierrez, the hitter. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Gutierrez, who scored the winning run after an infield hit to start the 9th inning on Thursday, and a dramatic steal of third base. It's a ball outside. And that, of course, changed the whole inning. Gutierrez this year winning the job as the regular everyday shortstop. And he went to spring training committed to doing that. He hired a personal trainer and committed himself to a real rigorous offseason conditioning program to prove that he belonged there and would have the staying power there. Was much better defensively than he's ever been in the past. And now one of the heroes in the early going here in the postseason for the Astros.
And manager Larry Dierker, as you look at him right there, he knew what to expect from Biggio, Bell, Bagwell, and Alou. But Everett and Gutierrez.
Well, the ball made it the glove of the catcher, Hernandez, but the bat went deep down the left field line, foul. 3-2.
He just rears back and throws this fastball, and Gutierrez does this a lot. A lot of times when you're fooled out front, that top hand takes over, and the bottom hand is kind of crunched down on the knob of the bat, and it hurts that thumb, and you end up letting the bat go. Gutierrez seems to do that about once a game.
Bagwell in third, 2 down. No score. 3-2 the count to Gutierrez. And he gets a walk. And now the only man who had a hit against Brown in Tuesday's game will come to the plate with a chance to put the Astros ahead. Brad Ausmus coming up now with 2 on and 2 down. In game 1, in the 3rd inning, he got the first hit. Just a little bloop into right center. And in the 6th inning, he got another base hit. Solid single to left through the hole. But that was it. That was about the offense for the Astros against Brown. In his 8 innings on Tuesday, he also had a couple of walks. The closest they came to scoring against him was after Ausmus hit that first single. And then catcher Carlos Hernandez committed 2 consecutive pass balls with Randy Johnson trying to bunt. That's a called strike. Ausmus, a former Padre, and probably his closest friend is the great Padre closer, Trevor Hoffman. In the offseason, he still makes his home here in his regular golfing partner with Tony Gwynn and Wally Joyner, among others. So he says if he wasn't here, he'd be rooting for the Padres. Caminetti, the second for the horse out. Veras takes the throw. Gutierrez is gone, and the inning is over. A hit batsman, a walk, but no runs for the Astros.
Wherever you go in the great outdoors.
Congratulations to the Cleveland Indians who won today over Boston, and also to the Atlanta Braves who defeated the Chicago Cubs, and they too are on their way to the League Championship Series.
Yes, it seems to me that the Atlanta Braves, everybody writes them off early because the Padres and the Astros are playing so well, and they just steamroll through everybody. So they've been a great team for a long time. They continue with that great pitching, and they know how to win, don't they?
The winner of this series will play the Braves in the League Championship Series beginning next Wednesday. Of course, the New York Yankees, who clinched the division series over Texas in the wee small hours this morning after a 3-hour and 16-minute rain delay in Arlington that began last night and ended this morning. So the Yankees will engage the Cleveland Indians at Yankee Stadium beginning Tuesday night in the American League Championship Series. Here's Ken Caminetti. And again, Bruce Bochy calls him a key man to get this offense going. They need to get Caminetti going. He was not very effective this year against left-handed pitching. He's a switch hitter. And Caminetti hit only .230 against the left-handers. 2-0 the count from Hampton.
He's had so much problem with his right quad all year, John, that anything thigh high and above, he has not been able to get the bat barrel on. He handles the ball down fairly well, but he's really had a small zone. It's been his hot zone because his thighs have been so tender, and he told me that he's always liked the ball down, but he just can't hit that ball up.
Swinging in 3-0. It's a foul ball, 3-1. Mike Hampton falling behind here, 3-1, and it reminds us that Hampton last year in his start against the Atlanta Braves in the division series ended up walking 8. It tied the record for most walks in a National League postseason game. Fernando Valenzuela had that many walks in Game 5 of the 1985 League Championship Series against the Cardinals. 3-1. And he swung a ball forward there. 3-2 the count. And again, he gets that ball down. He wants to go after it.
Yeah, he's looking down. You talk about walks. Walks come directly from not trusting your stuff. And in playoffs, when you're a young player, you really don't know what to expect. And you don't trust your stuff. And as a result, you walk a lot of people.
That's a foul off to the left. Well, he got into the 5th inning in Atlanta and went through a stretch. He walked 4 or 5 in a row before they finally had to get him out of there. And they lost the game. And in fact, got annihilated in the ball game. Hampton went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 6 runs, and had 8 walks in that one. 3-2 to Caminetti. Caminetti twice chased ball forward there, and Biggio throws him out. There is 1 away. And that's got to be part of Hampton's game, just as it is with guys like Maddox and Glavine. You get him swinging those pitches, he's going to have you doing just what he wants you to do.
Well, you mentioned Tom Glavine. He's a lot like Tom Glavine in a lot of ways. He's a great high school football player, excellent athlete, can really run, handles the bat fairly well, but he turns that ball over and likes to use hitter's aggressiveness to get the hitter out. He's developed a very good changeup that's almost like a screwball, puts pressure on that inside finger, turns the ball over, and then cuts that fastball in on the right-hander's hand.
Jim Leyritz, nearly the big hero of Game 2 for the Padres, with his dramatic 2-out, 2-strike homer against Billy Wagner. And Leyritz, of course, has done that kind of thing before. The shortstop, Gutierrez. Number 2. Two-man go. You know, Leyritz's home run was the 6th in postseason history where a team got a home run trailing with 2 outs in the 9th inning or later. Just the 6th in history. And here it was against Wagner. Just a question of fair or foul.
That's right. And he was leaning the wrong way, though. You remember Carlton Fisk was pointing in fair territory. Leyritz was leaning toward the Astros dugout, which was in foul territory.
Leyritz was using that reverse body again.
Yeah, there you go.
2 down, nobody on. And Steve Finley, the hitter, taking ball 1. Kurt Gibson was a guy. 2 out in the 9th inning or later, hitting a home run that either tied the game or put his club ahead. Dave Henderson in that dramatic 86 League Championship Series for the Red Sox against the Angels. Jack Clark, to be the series winning home run against the Dodgers against Tom Niedenfuer in 85 for the Cardinals. Shallow center. And Gutierrez, nice play as Everett went into a slide to avoid a collision. Well, that's 6 in a row retired by Hampton. We go to the 3rd inning now. Hampton will be coming up. Then Biggio inspires, and we are scoreless in San Diego after 2. Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. The final division series still to be determined here. And these 2 ball clubs seem to be so evenly matched. 2 outstanding ball clubs. And this one could be the one that goes all 5 games, although Bruce Bochy and the Padres are hoping not. Part of the reason why Kevin Brown is going tonight. Now, Randy Johnson, if, as Hampton is the hitter against Brown here as we start the 3rd in a scoreless game. Dropped down from the side, but he's a little bit low. And the count is 2-1. If Bochy's gamble works tonight and they win this game, then Randy Johnson will come back tomorrow with full rest. Because obviously it's a must-win game then for Houston to just tie the series. But if tonight the Astros win this game against Brown, then Johnson will be held back for a possible 5th game at the Astrodome. Thus, and Johnson has pitched extremely well against the Astrodome, even that first game loss notwithstanding in this series. And Hampton wasted there by Kevin Brown for out number 1. So there are a couple of things at stake here with Bochy going with Brown. Obviously, number 1, to try and win the series. But number 2, with a win, if it works out, then he keeps Randy Johnson out of that 5th game of the Astrodome if there is one. Biggio, the hitter, struck out his first time. And it is ball 1.
Well, I think it's brilliant. I think this brilliant idea. You get your best pitcher out there. You put your team ahead 2-1. If, in fact, it does work, and you force the Astros to go to their strength before they really want to. So they're going to either think that Bochy's a genius or it's going to backfire on him, because then he's going to either have to go with Hitchcock and Hamilton in game 4 and 5, which are really his 3rd and 4th starters.
He's really going for it right here. If Brown doesn't win, then it will come back to haunt him, perhaps. But if Brown does win, then the worst that could happen is that they'll get a game 5 in Houston without having to face the big unit. Jose Lima would go tomorrow, as we saw Lima there a moment ago, for Houston, if the Astros win tonight. Caminetti throws out the speedy Biggio. Out number 2.
Well, I've seen a lot of great third basemen in my lifetime, and I named my son Brooks after Brooks Robinson. But this man at third base plays it as well as anybody and has the best arm of any third baseman that I've seen in the game in my 25 years. Great hands, doesn't mind getting dirty, and deadly accurate rifle arm.
So if your son was being born this year or in the last 3 or 4 years, could have been Cam.
Yeah, or Cammy. How about a Cammy night?
1 ball and no strikes to Bill Spires.
But as you know, Brooks Robinson, I had so much respect for him, not only as a great player, but as a fine man. And I just kind of liked the moniker when they called him Brooksy. It was so affectionate, and there was so many people respected and still respect Brooks Robinson.
Well, that's when Reggie Jackson, before he actually went to New York, he once said, hey, if I played in New York, they'd name a candy bar after me. And in Baltimore, they said, hey, here, we name our babies after Brooks Robinson.
Right.
So you named your son Brooks, and in Baltimore, there are thousands of Brookses all around town. 2-1 the count. And of course, this postseason stage outside of Baltimore probably would brought Brooks Robinson to the most lasting fame, the 1970 World Series against Cincinnati. I mean, he just put on a show game after game. 2-2. One of Brooksy's teammates with the Orioles at that time is here tonight. Frank Robinson, great Hall of Famer, 586 career homers, one of the best there ever was.
No question about it. I had the pleasure of being in the Orioles ball club, and Frank was a coach.
2-2. And Spires hits it foul down the right field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on. Derek Bell would be next. Kevin Brown is now up to 37 pitches. We're in the 3rd inning. It's not a real high total. On the other hand, because he's on short rest, could become an important aspect of the night for him. Wow. Man, that pitch, that was too tough. Strike 3 swinging. 3 up and 3 down. No score.
Airline.
Kevin Brown in a 0-0 tie as his Padres come up here.
Look how he buries this slider down and in. The hitters just lose sight of that. Now we're going to see from home plate. Look at this ball right on top of it, but 92 miles an hour. And watch the little 0, the circle that comes to the slider, cuts that ball inside 92 miles an hour, buddy.
Wow.
That's dealing. That ball just ends up down there around the shoelaces, and hitters, they can't see the ball down there. They see it out in front of them, and the ball just takes off right down around there.
I mean, they talk about unhittable pitches. I mean, that's unhittable.
And I think that's what he does, Brown, more than anybody else. He throws an unhittable 95-mile-an-hour fastball up, then the splitter or the sinker down that's tough to hit, ground balls, and then the slider. And that's what all those hitters are talking about. Why he is so nasty. He has 3 quality pitches, just above quality, just great pitches. And most people are happy to have 1. 2 is a luxury, and 3 is unfair.
3-0 the count to Carlos Hernandez, and now 3-1. Well, they all talk beautifully about why he's so tough, and it's just nobody can hit him. It's the hitting part that they struggle with. 3-2 the count to Hernandez. I know Bruce Bochy said when he was a catcher for the Astros that there was a guy that he compared to the way Kevin Brown is throwing right now, and that's J.R. Richard. J.R. would throw real hard. He'd throw a 92-mile-an-hour slider, and he said he had real movement on his fastball. And that's a foul ball. He says oftentimes as a catcher, it was hell to try and catch the hard sinker that he was throwing, just as it is with Brown.
There's no question. I faced J.R. Richards for 4 years, and he had great fastball, great slider. The difference between J.R. and Kevin Brown is that Kevin has deft control on every pitch. J.R. sometimes would just wing it.
It's slowly to short right to Gutierrez. He slings it over to first, and Hernandez is retired. No score last of the third inning. And this view of Qualcomm Stadium is courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. Goodyear recently increased its blimp fleet to 6, adding 2 airships in Europe and 1 in South America. Just thinking maybe after the game we could fly on down to Rio on one of those airships.
We've been everywhere else.
Yeah. Not in many places Joe Morgan, but almost. 1 ball and no strikes to Chris Gomez. Well, Hampton has not yet allowed a base run. He's been matching 0 for 0 with Kevin Brown here in the early going. And again, this Padre team has not done a whole lot of hitting the last 4 to 6 weeks. Well, again, he's 3-0, but every time he's been behind one of these Padre hitters, he's come back to get him out. He was also 3-0 on Carlos Hernandez and got him. But not this time. It's a walk to Gomez. And again, that was the undoing of Hampton last October against the Atlanta Braves in his only other postseason start.
Yeah, he had 81 walks in the season, and this is really a cardinal sin. You walk the 8-hole hitter in front of the pitcher. Now you know that Brown's going to be bunting, and you create a run-scoring situation with the top of your lineup. You know, and so Brown's going to be bunting right here. You get a runner on second base if everything works out. A chance to put a number up on the board.
1 on, 1 on. And back to the bag at first is Gomez. Now, Brown also hit .207 and led all the Padres pitchers with 10 runs batted in. He can handle the bat pretty well.
Well, he can. He can handle the bat. Gomez just not quite good enough runner to start him. So this ball game, you're looking for just a couple runs, so he'll bunt him over here.
Nice bunt. Hampton's going to have to hurry. Biggio covering as Gomez goes to second. And that gives Gil Veras a chance to try and drive him home. And you're right inside the head of these managers.
Oh, yeah, I am, man. I am. I'm on top of it. But, you know, it is so tough on managers, as you see the Padres manager there and Gurker over there. You look at scoring tough runs and then runs that are given to you. When you walk the 8-hole hitter in front of the pitcher and allow the top part of your batting order to turn over again, you're just courting disaster.
So now here's Veras trying to make this inning a disaster for Mike Hampton. And there's ball 1 too low. And after Veras, it's Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, and pressure starts mounting. I don't look at pitch count so much as how many pitches a guy has. He can have 90 pitches. If none of those pitches are really under pressure, it doesn't matter much. But when you start having to make pitch after pitch after pitch under pressure, throwing balls to spots, putting a little bit more pressure on your legs and your arm, then that's when guys get tired and get hammered.
2-0. Well, Hampton in a jam for the first time in the game. He's got first base open, but remember, Tony Gwynn is on deck. And Tony does not seem to much care whether the guy's left-handed or right-handed. One of the great hitters of his time, or any other time. Greg Vaughn behind Gwynn. Waiting for it is Biggio. And that ends the inning. That is the 6th ground ball out in these first 3 innings. Bell, Bagwell, and Alou, the power coming up for the Astros. It was scoreless.
Swing here. Just level, slight uppercut, hitting the ball right out in front of the plate. Here you see the length of the swing, just very square, hitting the ball right out here in front of the plate, hitting the ball for a home run. Not very much of an uppercut. Very level swing down through the baseball. That's why he hit so many line drives. 22 home runs this year for Derek Bell, but he certainly has the power to hit more. His swing is just not conducive to getting the ball in the air that much.
Well, 41 doubles also, and a 90-mile-an-hour swing we saw on that track. Caminetti in the dirt, but pulled out by Leyritz, and Derek Bell is not number 1. So poor throw by Caminetti, but Leyritz was able to bail him out.
First baseman Jack Welch.
Well, Jimmy Leyritz not playing a lot of third base. Caminetti comes in, sets himself to make this throw. Little crow hop, and this is when you shouldn't, but sometimes he tries to throw the ball too hard. Leyritz coming up with a nice pick. Lucky that ball hit out in front of him instead of close to him. You get in between hops and tear your kneecap off.
Leyritz was one of those who went out there before the game and practiced that play before batting practice tonight. Andy Sheets was another guy who went out and practiced that, I guess.
Who was throwing to him? Was Caminiti throwing to him?
Ryan Boehringer.
Okay.
Now, he throws pretty hard.
Yes, he does. I think if you start practicing that throw, then you start making that throw. So I was hoping Kenny went out there.
Well, I'm hoping they don't put Boehringer at third base because all he threw was balls in the dirt over there. 2-0 the count to Jeff Bagwell. Moises Alou on deck. Bagwell had 34 homers this year and had his best September ever. He had the best September of any hitter in the big leagues. Facing Brown. That is a fair ball. And he is tagged out by Hernandez. 2 down.
Jeff Bagwell, normally deadly. 2-0, 3-1 counts when the pitch count is in his favor. This just shows you how overpowering. Sinker down, gets him chasing bad ball, just stands there looking at it, and there's nothing he can do anyway. That ball's called fair. I'm not sure about that. All that has to do is not the position of the player, it's the position of the ball. Umpire's right on top of it from that angle. It wasn't conclusive for me, but nonetheless, I mean, it's pretty hard to miss one right on top of the plate.
Moises Alou takes one in the dirt. Well, and all of home plate itself is in fair territory. The two foul lines actually meet at the back tip of home plate. So if the ball is out over the plate anywhere, when Hernandez goes out to pick it up, then it's a fair ball. I thought it was a fair ball.
Well, hey, baby.
I don't know what you were looking at. Steve Finley. And that's the inning. So Kevin Brown gets through the Astros power easily. Now Gwynn, Vaughn, Caminiti, the Padres power. No score, last of the fourth inning. Jeff Bagwell hit one. Was it fair or foul?
Well, as always, partner, you're right. Here's home plate here. We're going to see home plate. The ball comes down and hits right behind home plate. Home plate is right in here. And let's watch what happens. Let's get a home plate right in there. Now the ball comes straight down in there. Definitely a fair ball. No doubt about it. You offered me your glasses.
Tony Gwynn takes ball one. I kind of lost it there at the last of the real ultimate proof. As Gwynn takes ball two from Hampton. Here's the proof now.
Here's the proof. Look right here. Here's home plate, and here's the ball coming right down there. The ball's definitely fair. No question.
Right over the top of home plate.
Right over the top.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way I saw it as it happened.
Yes, sir.
And you're out there ripping these umpires. And they got it absolutely right. I mean, if you were still in uniform, you would have been tossed, man.
Hey, man, but I know the line. I know that line. Line, you can't cross that
line. You would have been screaming at him from the corner of the dugout. Yeah. But you wouldn't have gone out on the field.
No, I would not have.
3-1 to Gwynn. He grounded a second his first time. Well, Hampton continues to live dangerously here. He's been behind numerous hitters. He's gone to 3-0 to 3 of the last 5 men have been up there. And 3-2. But when he's throwing strikes, they're not hitting it. They've hit 6 groundouts in the first 3 innings. I mean, here's Tony Gwynn sitting on a 3-1 pitch, and he barely made contact.
But that's very typical of the type of pitcher he is. He's a guy that wants people to swing the bat at his pitches, and he won't throw strikes until he has to.
3-2. Vaughn on deck. And that's a foul ball. He hit it off his foot. That hurt. He's got the Achilles tendon problems. Then you hit a foul ball off your foot besides. The trainer's going to come out and make sure he's okay.
Well, John, one reason why Tony Gwynn has been one of many reasons. Such a great worker. Studies all those tapes. One of the reasons he's been such a great hitter for average is his ability to almost hit the ball at will to left field. For some reason, Hampton is keeping him from doing that. Way out front is first at bat, grounding out to second.
That one's to left field along the line. And the foul ground, Moises Alou. And Alou is claiming that a fan interfered, and he gets the call. The left field umpire, Mike Winters, agrees with him that a fan reached out over the field of play, over the railing, and kept Alou from making that play. The fan interference, and the out is called, and Gwynn is retired. And the fan there is celebrating catching the ball, but he may be ejected from this ballpark. He has cost the Padres an out, perhaps.
Yes, you cannot extend out over the field of play. There's an imaginary line where any part protrudes onto the field, whether it's a railing or a fence, or as you saw in Milwaukee earlier this year, or just about 2 weeks ago with Mark McGwire, and that left field umpire right out there on top of that play. Moise certainly settling under that ball. That area's got all kinds of nooks and crannies in it.
I mean, it's a weird area because the ball goes over the stands and can go back into play.
It actually does.
Vaughn, a hard hit ball to short. Nice pickup by Gutierrez. Up to his feet. Just in time. Wow. Beautiful play by Gutierrez. Fans are still unhappy about that call in left field. But we've got 6 umpires working. The 2 foul line umpires.
Number 21.
This ball smoked here. Good thing it came up. The ball almost fooled him, got by him, and he caught the ball behind him, comes up, makes a real good throw. Gutierrez, as we were saying earlier, is one of the things that actually glued this ball club. His defense, so important. Defense up the middle. Larry Durker, former pitcher, so proud of the way that he's really developed.
And Caminetti, the cleanup hitter. 2 down, nobody on. Caminetti grounded out his first time.
If Hampton keeps getting behind, he's going to get hurt there, John. You can't constantly be 2-0 and 3-1 and make pitches all night long. That's what I'm talking about, putting pressure on yourself.
Well, Caminetti is the 13th batter that he's faced, and only 4 times has he thrown a first pitch strike. So he's destroying all of the baseball cliches. The importance of that first pitch being a strike. I mean, he's only done it 4 times, and he's been getting everybody out. He is not allowed a hit as of yet.
Yeah, but as he gets deeper into the count, go ahead.
Well, that's the area where the fan was called for interfering with that ball. And security is down there now. I mean, you can count on being ejected from the ballpark.
I know, but it is tough because you're there. It's a reactive thing. You're out there watching the game. You brought your glove. I mean, how do you know if the ball is 2 inches over that rail or not? And, you know, I just believe that there should be something, either a barricade built around these ballparks, fences put up, netting, or something. You know, fans have to be a part of the ball game too. And I hate that situation in New York a couple years ago.
Gutierrez at short. And again, Hampton falls behind and gets the batter. The 3 big guns for the Padres are gone. We go to the 5th. No score. Game 3 of this division series. The Astros nothing, the Padres nothing, as we move to the top of the 5th. Now, Sunday night live at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. It's an AFC showdown. Seattle and Kansas City. Warren Moon leads the 3-1 Seahawks against Derek Thomas and the 3-1 Chiefs. And then Monday night on ABC Sports, it's Monday Night Football at its new time, 8 Eastern. A battle of unbeatens. Minnesota heads to Green Bay in the black and blue division. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime NFL football. Here's Carl Everett against Kevin Brown, and he takes ball 1. Everett hit into a double play his first time. Gutierrez and Osmus will follow. We're down toward the bottom part of the Astros batting order. Right to second Taveras. He caught it in the air. There is 1 away. There's only been 1 hit in this game up till now. A single by Alou back in the 2nd. That's the guy who caught that fly ball that was called fan interference. And I think they heard him on the radio there.
Well, who's that guy in the green? Come on, you can't be fingering people.
It looked like he was pointing them out. The wife has the Walkman on, listening to Jerry Coleman on the Padres radio.
Right.
And you saw him grimace when he realized what he'd done. He didn't even realize it. Here's, I mean, usually as Gutierrez takes ball 1, that kind of a play, it's a fan reaches forward over a railing. This guy reached up and reached back, a ball that was over his head. I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, it's really has more to do with, as you said, Ray, the peculiarity of this ballpark. If I were them here, I'd want to build a new ballpark and get out of this one. This is not a baseball park. I'd want to move into a new ballpark, maybe downtown somewhere. Just leave this for football. I feel strongly about it. 1-2 to Gutierrez, and he lays off that Kevin Brown fastball. 2-2. You know, the Astros have had 3 men reach base in this game, all in the same inning, but they have not scored. Not in the game, not in the series against Brown. He has shut them out for 12 solid innings, plus the first out here in the 5th inning of this game. On 3 hits. 3-2 the count. And Gutierrez walks for the 2nd straight time.
I'll tell you what, both of those pitches were 96, 97 mile-an-hour fastballs right on the knees, right on the black, and just did not get the call. Here's the last pitch here. Look at this pitch. Look at the catcher's mitt. Just a little down. I'm talking 2 inches down. But it's not where he receives the ball. It's where it crosses that front part of the plate. That was very close to cutting the bottom part of that kneecap, which is a low part of the strike zone.
That's what you said when they showed the replay the day McGuire got thrown out of the game.
Oh, yeah, probably so.
Now, McGuire's watching somewhere right now. He's disagreeing with you, Ray.
He can. Whatever he said.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Deep into center. Finley going back. I mean, Big Mac is standing right now out on some beach somewhere where he's getting away from it all. He says, Ray, I take that pitch, brother. Too low.
And he's right. He's right. It was just a tad too low.
Brad Ausmus hit that one pretty well to center field, but it's the big part of the ballpark here. So 2 men are gone, and the pitcher, Mike Hampton, is coming up. Hampton is an excellent hitting pitcher. He had the 3rd best batting average among all pitchers in the regular season, 262. And he runs pretty well. He had 2 steals. I mean, he's like McGuire and Ricky Henderson all rolled into one as a pitcher, you know, from a pitching standpoint.
You're going to have to explain that to me a little bit later.
Well, I mean, pitchers don't hit. They can't hit to begin with, right?
Right.
But by comparison to the rest of them, this guy hits and runs like crazy. It's unbelievable. 0-2 the count. Dropping down from the side and missing inside. 1-2. That's got to really unnerve you. As hard as he throws, all of a sudden he drops down by a 3rd base like that.
He's got a natural 3/4 delivery anyway. It's very tough to pick up.
Yeah, like that. 4 strikeouts for Brown. No score halfway through it. Leyritz coming up. Last of the 5th. We got a 1-hitter going here. That's for both teams combined. No score. Jim Leyritz coming up.
Yeah, we're going to go back to backtrack. You remember Derek Bell made contact way up here in front of the plate on his home run, driving the ball to left field. And look at Leyritz. A little bit more loop in his swing, but he makes contact way back in here, hitting the ball right down the right field line, and that's the difference between driving the ball to left field and driving the ball to right field.
And the pitch, he's 81 miles an hour on the swing. The pitch that came in from Wagner was at 98 miles an hour.
So what does that tell you?
Well, when you add in the coefficient, the drag coefficient, and at the center of protection.
Wow.
That says it all. The question at that point becomes, will it stay fair? Yeah.
Fair foul.
Well, here's Hampton behind another hitter. The 14th Padres batter and the 10th that he's been behind, and another 3-0 count.
Well, I just have not seen pitchers behind in counts end up very effective, because you end up throwing too many pitches under stress, having to make pitches all the time, 3-0, 3-1. Eventually you make a mistake, somebody hits a bomb.
3-1. Deep center, but playable. Again, he got him to hit it to the big part of the ballpark. Easy play for Everett, and there is one away. He keeps coming back to get these guys. I can't understand how every time it's 3-0, he gets one in there. Well, Ray, we're enjoying these aerial views of Qualcomm Stadium tonight. And it's one of the world's most enduring symbols, the Goodyear blimp Eagle. Been providing us with these fine looks at the ballpark, and for a look inside the Goodyear blimp and how it maneuvers, try its website at www.goodyear.com. And that's a called strike. A rare first pitch strike. This one to Steve Finley. No score in the game. There's been only one hit in the game. The curveball misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, the paid attendance, as we saw from the shot from the blimp, a huge crowd here. 65,235. Largest baseball crowd ever here. 1-2 the count. Then they chased a bad ball there. There were more than 61,000 here for a game on the 4th of July. That had been the previous biggest baseball crowd in the history of the stadium. This is also the largest crowd to see a Major League Baseball game this season. Anyway, strike 3 called on the outside. And that is the first strikeout of the night for Hampton.
Finley's pulling off the ball a little bit, getting a little bit older. Watch how he moves his left side off the ball. It causes the ball to look away to him. Watch how he just kind of pulls a little bit with his front side. It causes his head to float. And when that happens, the ball looks like it's away. That pitch may have been away, but it makes it look like 2 or 3 inches farther away from him.
Carlos Hernandez, first ball swinging. Gutierrez slings it over there to Bagwell. An easy inning. That's 8 in a row retired by Hampton. Top of the order, Biggio coming up. No score. ESPN's coverage of the National League Division Series is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, Hey, Beer Man. And by Levi's Hard Jeans, Denim's evil twin. The largest baseball crowd in the major leagues in 1998 right here in San Diego, 65,000 plus. And they're not happy with what's going on so far. The Padres have not had a hit against Mike Hampton, despite the fact that he's been breaking all the rules. He's been behind almost every hitter, but he has matched Kevin Brown 0 for 0. Now the top of the order, Biggio, Spires, and Derek Bell against Brown. Brown has given up just the 1 hit, a Moises Alou single that just barely made it through the middle of the diamond back in the 2nd. Biggio is 0 for 2. Quick fastball right on the outside, 96 miles an hour. Ended his 0-1.
Certainly has not shown any ill effects of just pitching on 3 days. Pitch count is just at 58, very pitch efficient. 11 pitches per inning. His fastball is around 95 to 97. His slider is breaking about 1.5 feet.
Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Other than that, he hasn't pitched that well. Dave Stewart. Next to manager Bruce Bochy.
Bochy's starting to get the Leo Mazzoni rock.
Past the mound. Gomez. Got it. Well, this is a nervous time. I mean, he's gambled a lot for this whole series, having Brown go tonight. And number one, they don't want to go back. We talked about it already. They don't want to go back to Houston if they can help it. And they also, if they have to go back to Houston, they don't want Randy Johnson to be able to pitch. If they win tonight with Brown, that'll put Johnson out there tomorrow night. So there are a lot of things that set up well for the Padres by Brown going tonight if he wins. And things don't set up very well for them at all if he loses. It could be down for the count quickly after tonight if they can't win behind their ace. Bill Spires, the hitter. None of the other series would this have even been an option. But there was an extra day off in this series, enabling Brown to come back with 3 days of rest in only the 3rd game. And Bochy taking advantage of that. But to actually fully take advantage of it, they've got to win the game. And so far, the Padres offense, which has been their problem down the stretch of this season continues to plague them. Keep in mind, though, game 1 of this series, Brown and Randy Johnson was also scoreless after 5. So we'll see. 2-1 the count. Spires has popped to short and struck out. Derek Bell on deck. Spires has given him some of the toughest at bats that Brown has had to deal with tonight. That's just foul. He got out in front of that one and ripped it foul.
You know, John, I don't know where baseball changed, but you go back and look in the record books, and there were men that threw 350 innings. Guys that started both games of double headers. Kid Nichols, Mordecai, Three Fingers Mordecai Brown. I remember looking in baseball history and seeing these guys going out there throwing, and they didn't get paid for money. They just played the game for fun, and they never had a sore arm. Kevin Brown, he kind of feels that way. His arm never seems to bother him.
Full count now, 3-2. And Iron Man Joe McGinnity. Hey, for that matter, Wilbur Wood, a knuckleballer back in the early 70s, once pitched both games of a doubleheader. A walk. That's the third walk allowed by Brown. So Bill Spires with an excellent at-bat, coaxing the walk from him in front of the power. Now Bell, followed by Bagwell, here in the 6th of a scoreless game. Well, it's one thing, though. I mean, he's pitching with 3 days rest, and pitchers for decades routinely did that every start. But that's the difference. I mean, this is out of the routine for Brown or any other current Major League pitcher. They've gone with the 4 days of rest throughout their careers. Brown has often said he would like to be on a 4-day cycle for the season. I think he believes it would be good for him. 1 out, 1 on. Now Brown against the Astros power. And remember, this Astros team was the highest scoring team in the National League this year. I mean, for Brown to do what he's done to them, that says it all, because nobody did this to them in the regular season. He has shut them out for 13 1/3 innings on 3 hits. Inside to Bell. Now Bell hit one pretty well to right field in the 1st inning. Caught by Gwynn, and then he grounded out his last time. He's 0 for 2. Brad Ausmus has had 2 of the 3 hits that they've had against Brown in this series, and both of them came indoors on Tuesday. Off the fist, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the killer bees, Biggio, Bell, Bagwell, hitless against Brown. 0 for 16 in the 2 games he's pitched. They did have 3 hits and 4 RBIs, 3 of the RBIs by that man Bagwell in their win on Thursday.
I think without a doubt this is the best hitting team in baseball. A lot of respect to the Yankees. This team right here, when you look at the numbers they put out, and the flexibility they have in center field and third base, the run production from about 5 different positions. I mean, just listen to this. Biggio scored 123 runs. Bell scored 111. Bagwell 124. Alou 104. The combination of their center fielder Hidalgo and Everett and their third basemen Barry and Spires each scored 100 runs and drove in 100 runs. So you're talking about 5 positions, 6 positions that scored 100 runs and drove in 100 runs. That's unheard of. I'd say that's pretty solid.
And of course, that's without the use of the designated hitter. Their pitchers batted. One of the differences between the 2 leagues. So suffice it to say that this is an outstanding offensive club. Shut down entirely by Brown. Spires, though, drew a walk. He is running. Bell does not get it. Heading back to first is Spires, and he makes it. The throw bounced into second by Hernandez, enabling Spires, who stopped halfway, to get back safely.
Well, a great job by Bill Spires there, straight hit and run, 2-1. Terrible pitch. He's looking in, sees the ball bad, sees the hack. The throw goes to second base. This is a straight hit and run. As he breaks late, looks in, sees the bad hack, knows there's no contact, stops, heads back. The throw to second base, a bad throw, and just a great piece of base running there by Billy Spires.
So the Astros catch a break. But Brown also caught a break on that pitch, which would have been ball 3. He struck him out. And that is 5 strikeouts for Brown.
Well, you see this right here. This is just a four-seam fastball that he throws down. Look at this rotation over and over and over and over. 95 miles an hour. Right there, just blew the ball by him. Derek Bell hits the ball to right field with 2 strikes, but just couldn't catch up to that blazing fastball.
Now Bagwell. And it is 0-1. The slider. No score in the 6th inning. I was just starting to wonder if maybe we were seeing signs of Brown laboring a little bit after the walk of Spires, falling behind Bell. But then he gets Bell swinging on a bad ball on the hit and run, and then puts him away. So maybe a little premature with that thought. He has walked 3 and hit 1 at 5 strikeouts. Just dive right at the plate.
Yeah, that pitch. Talking to Dave Stewart, the pitching coach, he taught Brown a modified version of his splitter. He had a great splitter when he was with Oakland. A lot of times we call that pitch a sinker, and he actually just grips the ball back just a little bit, splits his fingers, takes about 4 miles an hour off the fastball, and the ball goes straight down.
In other words, we might have been looking just a moment ago at a 93-mile-an-hour splitter.
Right. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I think that should be illegal.
Here's just a fastball here. You're going to see a little different rotation there as you see the ball come out of there. That's the splitter there. That's the sinker. He uses it with just a little bit of split. He doesn't bury it back in his fingers because he's wanting sinking just a little bit off of his fastball.
Sidearm fastball. Right center. Finley. And Bagwell is retired. Kevin Brown, 6 more innings of shutout ball against the powerful Astros. Gomez, Brown coming up, no score. Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Padres and the Astros. And we're in a scoreless tie before more than 65,000 fans at Qualcomm Stadium. Kevin Brown has shut out the Astros for another 6 innings after an 8-inning shutout performance on Tuesday. But he's in a scoreless battle here. Left-hander Mike Hampton has matched him 0 for 0. Gomez was drawn the only walk against Hampton and is the only base runner they've gotten against Hampton up till now. He has a no-hitter going into the 6th. Kevin Brown on deck, as you saw, and then Kilvio Veras due up 3rd in the inning. Brown has given up 1 hit. Hampton, none. Now he's given up 1. Gomez with a single into left center.
Give Mike Hampton credit. He's thrown the ball extremely well, kept the ball down all night. That's really the first pitch that he's thrown up around the belt. It's actually around the letters, and he is not effective up there. We talked about his effectiveness is going to be keeping the ball down. He's done that all night. First time he gets the ball up.
Brown bunting, but foul, and it is 0-1.
I was going to say it's so critical for the 8th hitter to get on leading off an inning because you just set up your offense for the hitters in the front of the lineup. Veras, Gwynn, Vaughn, Brown in a bunt situation.
Well, they struggled down the stretch, but Chris Gomez was their best hitter. In the last 42 games, he hit .346 in the regular season. So perhaps not so surprising to the Padres to see him be the one to get the first hit here.
Yeah, Rick Sutcliffe, who does the games here with Jerry, talked about how Gomez had really come on the last half of the season swinging the bat. Early in the year, much maligned. Talked about trading, has really become a real positive part and solid part of this offense.
Gomez back to the bag at first. Gomez does not have a whole lot of speed. Stole only one base during the season. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kevin Brown. The bunt, Bagwell, Biggio covering, and Brown has gotten it done again. Only the second time of the game that the Padres have even had a base runner. Each time it's been Gomez, and Brown has bunted him over, but this time now just 1 out as the top of the order comes up.
Great job by Kevin Brown, and great pitchers are able to do these type things, and the fans here certainly recognizing the little things that make winning ball clubs. Kevin Brown, excellent with the bat, as most starting pitchers that win 15 games are. You just don't know how many times over the course of the year getting that bunt down means winning ball games.
This copyrighted telecast was presented by authority, the Commissioner of Baseball. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Gilvy Alvarez with Tony Gwynn on deck. 1 out. Strike. Right around the knees. That's the one you want called a strike, Ray.
Yeah, absolutely. I want that ball right underneath the knees, called a strike, and I want him to call it a strike right underneath that Padres. I think the big part of the strike zone has been from the belt up. That's what's been lost.
Right, so that's too high for you, though.
Yeah, that's too high. But the reason for that pitch right up there around chest, from the belt to the chest, that's what you call a cookie. That's a pitch that you can jump all over. It's a mistake. The pitchers throw the ball there, and a hitter takes it. It ought to be a strike.
Cookie. Base hit. Gomez has started back to second, and he'll have to stop at third. Gomez turned around and started back to second. First and third, 1 out. Gwynn coming up.
Well, that was a weird reaction by Gomez there. You got to know the shortstop where he is. You don't have to go back. It is a line drive, but it's not going to be caught. It's a one-hopper. But watch how he breaks back towards second base. As John mentioned, he breaks back towards second base. That negates any chance to score. But now you have first, third situation with probably the best contact hitter in all of baseball up at the plate.
Jim Flannery talking to Gomez now over at third. He's the coach. Everybody on their feet at Qualcomm Stadium waving their rally towels. Trying to break through. Just the man they want to have up there. Tony Gwynn at the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Middle infield double play depth. Ball 1.
Bruce Bochy loves to hit and run with Tony Gwynn. Gilvy Alvarez runs extremely well. Infield back playing for the double play.
He was their leading base stealer, 24 steals.
Great situation for the Padres. Tony makes contact.
On the other hand, you've got the left-hander out there. And as we check Barris there, he actually was flinching back toward first as Hampton delivered the pitch.
What you do, Joe, John, is you get a one-way lead on a hit and run. You make sure he pitches, then you go. Your only reason is to break up 2. You don't try to steal the base. You only go when the pitcher goes home.
It is 2-0. This could be 2. They get 1. Back to first. And not in time. Gomez scores, and the Padres have taken a 1-0 lead.
Textbook baseball. Watch Gilvy Alvarez. He makes this play. Great job by Gutierrez, good turn, but he's all over the top of Biggio. Biggio has to go toward left field. Because of that move toward left field, he does not have enough on the throw. Watch him catch the ball moving toward left field. Veras takes him out. Just not enough juice on the throw. Great job of base running by Julio Veras there.
Yeah, safe. They agree. Yeah, he had nothing on the throw, and that was the difference. Gwynn running with that bad Achilles tendon, nonetheless able to beat it out, and by the barest of all possible margins, the Padres have taken a 1-0 lead, and what's more, it keeps the inning going for their biggest slugger, Greg Vaughn, to try and do some serious damage. 50 home runs during the regular year, although he's never done much against Hampton. Tonight he is 0 for 2. Finally a run. The Padres have taken a 1-0 lead. On the inside, 0-1.
Show you how smart a hitter Tony Gwynn is. It's so much more difficult to turn the doubles play from shortstop to second to first. Tony Gwynn goes the other way, hits the ball in the hole. Now the second baseman has to make the turn. He couldn't do it.
Changeup gets right through the legs of the catcher Osmus, and Gwynn moves over to second. What happened to Osmus there? He sprung a leak somehow.
Yeah, we're going to see right here this pitch. I don't know if it crosses him up. He just does not move his legs. He waits too late to move the leg. The ball bounces up there. He should move his chest toward home plate and move toward the ball. They're calling it a wild pitch.
But I think he'd agree he should have stopped it. Everybody on their feet again here in San Diego. Runner at second. Now, on deck is Ken Caminetti. First base is open. With the man on deck, it's awfully powerful.
I wouldn't give him anything to hit here. I'd make Ken Caminetti beat me.
Caminetti has not hit well against the lefties.
Right. Throw a couple of sinkers away and hope he chases a ball, but I certainly would not give in to Mr. Vaughn.
I think Hampton agrees.
I would almost,
3-1.
right here, if I'm Bruce Bochy, go ahead and put him on. I wouldn't even risk throwing a 3-1 pitch somewhere around the plate. This is where you get in trouble when you try to make a pitch. You don't have quite as much on it. Osmus goes out to talk to him. You're talking about pitching around hitters. You just don't have quite as much on the ball. You make mistakes, and then somebody does something that causes a lot of damage.
Osmus has paid a visit to Hampton. Gwynn leads away from second. 2 down. He'll be running anything here. Got the call on that one.
Oh, man. Now, that's a pitch as a hitter you can't swing at, and as a pitcher you hope and pray that you get.
I wonder if it could work against Hampton now.
Well,
He's got 2 strikes, right? He might be tempted to go after it.
He better not. He better go right back in that same spot and hopes he gets the call.
It's a temptation, though.
Yeah, you're right.
3-2. Oh, man, what a pitch. That ends the inning. So Hampton, who's always had it over Vaughn, continues. But it's 1-0. San Diego. In San Diego, we head to the late innings now. Inning number 7. It is 1-0. The Padres have gone ahead.
Look right here. Vaughn right here. This is the pitch that's going to be right in this area right here. 3-1. Going to throw it there. Perfect pitch called. Look at that ball just right there. Then he comes back on the 3-2 pitch, and look at the setup in here. He buries the ball right in here. If he hits that ball, he's going to hit it foul. He gets it in there really nice. Down and in. No way to hit that ball unless you hit it about 30, 40 feet foul. Great pitching on Mike Hampton.
So the slider to put him away. And, I mean, that's, especially that 3-2 pitch, that's clutch pitching. He makes a mistake with that. It could be 3-0 right now.
You're not kidding. He doesn't throw a lot of sliders. He feels real comfortable with his sinker. He decided to go in there with a slider. Osmus obviously went out and says, look, I want you to bury this ball inside underneath his hands. Make sure you get it in. He throws a slider. You know, picture-perfect slider. Great job.
So Hampton, despite his best efforts, pitching beautifully tonight, has given up a run, and that's 1 too many. He's behind. And Kevin Brown back to work to Moises Alou. 0-1. Alou has not hit a home run since August. He's gone now 112 at-bats without a home run. And he's not looking like he might hit one anytime soon here.
He's really pulling off the ball. I've watched in his last 30, 35 at-bats. His left shoulder is just absolutely leaving the ball. Sometimes you get tired physically, and you try to create a little movement when you bat. You start early, and you start pulling off the ball.
Toward the middle. And through off the glove of Gomez. So Moises Alou gets his second hit of the game. This is an infield hit, and only the second hit for the Astros of this game against Kevin Brown.
Well, Kevin just left that ball real fat after getting 0-2. That ball's right down the middle, belled high, and it's got hit me all over. And I don't care if you're belling off the ball or not. You will put most of those balls in play as Gomez makes a nice effort.
The Astros pitcher, Mike Hampton, is due up 5th in this inning. So just in case, Larry Durka's got his bullpen busy. Scott Ellerton, the outstanding rookie right-hander, is starting to warm up in the right field bullpen. The batter is Carl Everett. He is grounded into a double play and lined hard to second base. They've hit the ball hard occasionally in this game. They didn't really hit it hard at all against him in Houston. I mean, there were no great plays or anything. That's a called strike at beauty on the outside. Jerry Coleman, who of course used to play for the Yankees and is a longtime broadcaster here in San Diego, was there at Yankee Stadium in the dugout as a Yankee the day that Don Larson pitched the perfect game against New York, the only perfect game ever thrown in the World Series. One strike the count to Everett. Down and away with a hard sinker. 1 ball, 1 strike. He thought that Kevin Brown was more impressive on Tuesday than Larson was the day he pitched the perfect game. There's Jerry. And that's saying a lot.
If you're wondering why at home they're not bunting here to tie this ball game, you generally don't bunt on the road. You know that you're going to have to score more than 1 run to beat Kevin Brown. You've got a hitter there that is your most dangerous hitter. You hate to take the bat out of his hand. Everett hitting 15 home runs this year, 296. So you're bunting to the bottom of your order, forcing yourself to make a change with your pitcher, Hampton. So hopefully for Durker, he's looking for something to happen big from Everett so he doesn't have to take Hampton out of the ball.
Brown has fallen behind him now, 3-1. He's up at 83 pitches for the game.
Well, Moises runs really well. Very smart base runner, stole 11 of 14 bases here. I would not be surprised to see him running on a 3-1 count here.
And just in case, Brown makes a throw over there.
And my theory about that, if you're going to run 3-2, you might as well run 3-1 if you know your hitter is selective enough to get a good pitch to hit and swing at a strike. Everett's very aggressive. Any ball near the strike zone, he'll probably swing it.
That's a base hit into right center. Alou's going to try for third. Here's Gwynn's throw. He's out. Going to get an argument now. Durker's coming out of the dugout. Mike Cubbage immediately went after third base umpire Wally Bell. And now Durker picks up the argument. That's a huge call. And a great throw by Tony Gwynn.
Well, Tony Gwynn got rid of that ball so quickly. Still believe Alou should have been running 3-1 with an aggressive hitter like Everett up there. Caminetti did a great job receiving the throw and diving, almost taking Alou off the base. But look how quickly Gwynn gets rid of this ball and gets it back toward the infield. Line shot rocket moves hard to his right, catches it, and it's on its way. Look how perfect it is. Caminetti dives hard. Man, that's a close call. I'm glad I didn't have to call it. Look how quickly he gets himself set up, throws the ball, a little bit of rainbow in it. Let's look at this thing closely here. Dives. Ooh, baby. I call him safe after the replay. How about you there? Here we are again. He dives, he gets there. Now let's see if his hand's on the bag. Yes, tag, tied. Boy, that's tough. That's tough. You call it the way you see it, Mr. Umpire. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, that's a huge call, and the first out of the inning.
But you don't make the first out at third base. You end up that situation at the worst, first and second. You've got your seventh hole hitter bunting. Then you have second, third. If that goes right, and you get a pinch hitter there. But Tony Gwynn, always been known for the accuracy of his arm. He's not just an offensive player.
Man. And that hits Gutierrez. Wow. Second hit batsman of the game by Kevin Brown, although this one actually hit the batter. Not in the foot. The trainer's going to come out and have a look along with Larry Durker, the manager. The Padres bullpen for the first time is getting ready as well.
This is just a sinker that gets away from him. What he did, he dropped down, way down from down underneath, and that ball just never had a chance to get anywhere near the plate. Almost goes behind Gutierrez, but hits him actually, and it misses his front leg, hits him in his back calf.
Yeah. Just watching that made my calf start to hurt. I mean, it comes in 92, 93 miles an hour. That's going to hurt.
Good bite.
Well, we have seen Kevin Brown with the Astros suddenly making him look mortal. And Randy Myers, number 18, the left-hander, and Dan Maselli, the right-hander, have started to warm up in the San Diego bullpen. They have the lead here, but it is only one run. Kevin Brown working on 3 days of rest. In this inning, he's given up back-to-back singles and now a hit batsman. Dave Stewart on his way to the mound to talk to Brown. Brown going on short rest, remember.
We're just asking him how he feels right now. Now all he's doing as a pitching coach is settling down a little bit and asking, how do you feel, big guy? You still got enough in you? Just kind of get a feel where he is physically.
Well, NFL Countdown has expanded to 2 hours. For all the NFL news and a preview of every game, join Chris Berman and the gang at 11 Eastern tomorrow to start your football Sunday. Then NFL Primetime. If you miss any of the NFL action, here's your chance to catch up on all the games with a complete recap. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson break down the entire day in the NFL. Sunday at 7:30 Eastern, right before Sunday Night Football, which is Seattle and Kansas City tomorrow night. Here's Brad Ausmus. He's the man who had 2 hits against Brown on Tuesday. Foul tip and 2-1. The pitcher's spot due up next.
Yeah, Kevin dropped down. Pitcher won't hit here. There's no way the pitcher's going to hit in this situation unless Brad Ausmus drives in the run at second base, and then I doubt then that the pitcher will hit. There you have Dave Clark in the on-deck circle.
Dave Clark. It's a pinch hit for Hampton, at least at this point. That's a foul, so quickly Brown is ahead of Ausmus. It is 0-2. Ausmus is grounded into a force and flied out to center. He's up here with Everett at second, the possible tying run, and Gutierrez at first with 1 out. They've actually had 3 consecutive men reach base against Brown in this inning. He has not retired a batter himself. Tony Gwynn has gotten the only man out for him in the inning. Mike Hampton needs a little help right now. He's trailing 1-0. Now time taken. And Hernandez out to talk to Kevin Brown.
Ausmus is very tough to strike out. He stays on the ball, very short stroke. Will hit the ball to right field, so it kind of takes your slider away from you a little bit, and that's why I think that he's been able to at least hit the ball, put the ball in play against Kevin Brown. He does not try to pull the ball too much, hits the ball pretty much up the middle to the right side. So Brown won't probably throw a slider here, and Hernandez going out there and says, probably, we need to sink this ball. What I think you need to do 0-2 is bust that fastball in on him 2 or 3 times with a little bit of sinkage. Make him hit a ground ball to the shortstop. Speed up that back barrel. Take right field away from him.
He goes away again. The ball hit to Gwynn and right. Tagging at second, Everett. He's heading for third. Here's Gwynn's throw to the second baseman, Gilvio Veras. Holding at first, Gutierrez. 2 down, and now Dave Clark, the veteran pinch hitter, will come up to bat for Hampton.
Your attention, please. For the Astros, batting for the pitcher Hampton, number 35, Dave Clark.
Clark, a veteran, has been around a long while, and he was one of the best pinch hitters in the National League last year while he was with the Chicago Cubs. Clark had a great year as a pinch hitter. With the most pinch hits in Cubs history. It was 20 to 65. That was last year. Clark, as an Astro, 17 for 65. Not bad either.
He's a high ball hitter, which is unusual for a left-hander. Likes the ball up and out away from him. Very strong, good fastball hitter. Pulls the breaking ball. Doesn't hit the ball down really well. Hits the ball pretty much on the ground. Chops the ball on the ground. One of the few left-handers that likes the ball thigh high and up.
He came in against Brown on Tuesday in Houston as a pinch hitter and walked. Brown changed up there. 2-0. Jose Lima's got the rally cap going.
Well, that's a rally cap for real.
I hope that's what it is. That is joined the Mouseketeers. 2-0. 3-0 now to Dave Clark. And leadoff man Craig Biggio is on deck. Runners at first and third, 2 down. Kevin Brown up to 93 pitches. And this is really the most he's labored in any inning in the 2 games he's pitched in this series. That's a strike. 3-1.
Well, you really want to go ahead and try to get this guy out, obviously. You don't want to walk him or pitch around him with the bases loaded and allow the go-ahead run to get on second base. So even though he's left-handed, he's going to try to make a pitch to get him out.
There's the double fake. Everett back to third. Gutierrez holding on at first. Yeah, the man on deck is one of the great clutch hitters in the National League, Craig Biggio. Biggio hoping to bat here in the 7th. 3-1 to Clark. And Biggio will bat with the bases loaded and 2 down as Clark becomes the 4th man to reach base in this inning against Kevin Brown. This is about to start to get kind of frustrating for the Astros. They have not yet scored. 3 men on here. Everett at third, Gutierrez at second, and Clark over at first. And a base hit to the outfield could well put the Astros ahead now.
This big pitch right here. He's going to try to get ahead of Craig Biggio right here. The bases loaded. He has to try to get ahead of him. The most important pitch in all of baseball is strike 1. Biggio, great hitter.
He hit 360 with men in scoring position, but he's never done a whole lot against Brown, and not this week. He is 0 for 5 this week against Brown. 0 for 3 tonight. He started him with a big breaking ball. It is 0-1.
Well, that's what makes great pitchers great. Their ability to clutch up in situations. 3 pitches we've talked about. His fastball, his sinker, and his slider. There he comes. Starts off Biggio with a slider. Able to get it over for a strike.
3 men on. 2 men down. 1 ball, 1 strike to Biggio.
He's really rushing right now. You can see that he's falling off the mound a little bit, as you're talking about. He's beginning to labor out there. Always pushes off the mound very strongly. He's starting to jump a little bit, trying to get a little bit more out of his legs to compensate for the tiredness of his arm.
The great pitcher with not a whole lot left. Back with a breaking ball. Taken very patiently by Biggio. And it is 2-1. He has not yet swung the bat in this appearance. He has not hit the ball out of the infield tonight, nor this week against Kevin Brown.
Well, after going 0-2 to a Lou, every pitch has been a pressure pitch this inning. So 20 straight pressure pitches.
He dropped down from the side with a sinker, but missed. And now it is 3-1. And this is the classic Biggio at bat in a pressure situation. Very patient. And Brown is showing him everything he can think of here, but now he needs a strike.
Craig Biggio will keyhole him right here. He's not going to get selfish. He's going to look for one spot, one area, and if Brown throws the ball there, he'll hack. If it's not, and I'm talking about the size of a playing card.
He walked him, and the game is tied. He has walked in the tying run. Carl Everett can trot home. It is 1-1. And finally, Bruce Bochy says, let's call it a night for Kevin Brown. He's given us all he's had, and perhaps more than he had. Bill Spires is coming up, and Randall K. Myers is coming in to face him, and this game is tied at 1. Astros 1, Padres 1, and Kevin Brown. And the final analysis here in the 7th inning. Finally worn down by the Houston Astros. Mike Hampton has been taken off the hook after being lifted for a pinch hitter, and now the Astros will try and go ahead. And as you can see, that is not Randy Myers, that's Dan Maselli. Myers, the left-hander, was left in the bullpen with the left-handed batting Spires coming up, and Maselli, who had an outstanding year in middle relief, to get the call against the left-handed hitter.
Well, it surprises me. You get Randy Myers for a reason to get left-handed hitters out.
That's a strike.
Maselli has been exceptional. I know you have Bell, Bagwell, and Lou, but this and all, for all purposes, is the ball game right here.
3 men on. Gutierrez at third, Clark at second, and Biggio, who got the bases loaded walk on the RBI at first base.
Another reason the Astros are so tough, you've got such a strong lineup or strong bench. You have Sean Berry, who had a great year this year. As you mentioned, with Spires driving in 109 runs, scoring 95.
That's a strike. And Cookley's ahead of him 0-2.
Checking the stats. Spires never having faced Myers 0 for 5 against Maselli. This goes to where your manager knows his personnel much more than anyone else. Puts a guy out there that he expects to get the job done, regardless of what we think.
He struck him out. Caminetti coming up. It's 1-1. Last of the 7th. ESPN's coverage of the National League Division Series is brought to you by America Online. So easy to use, no wonder it's #1. More than 65,000 fans for this pivotal game. Game 3 of the National League Division Series, and nothing has been decided. It is 1-1. So Padres coming up now in the last of the 7th inning with Ken Caminetti to lead it off. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, David Wells, and Alex Rodriguez are among the finalists for this year's Players' Choice Awards to be presented live on ESPN on Friday, October 30th from Walt Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex. Tune in to see the top Major League players as chosen by the players themselves. Friday, October 30th, live at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Scott Ellerton on the pitch now for the Astros. The young right-hander in his rookie season. Caminetti, first ball swinging, hits a soaring pop-up. Biggio and Gutierrez, look out. It is Biggio for the catch, and nearly a collision there, which could have been catastrophic for the Astros.
Yeah, with the crowd noise here, it's very difficult to hear. He's saying, I got it, I got it. Both of them calling it maybe at the same time, but this is a very loud crowd. Gutierrez over there about 20 feet in someone else's territory. Scott Ellerton, 22 years old, has been a starter, probably will be the 5th starter for this ball club come spring. Great fastball, 94-95, slider, straight changeup.
Jim Leyritz, the hitter. He's untouchable. Leyritz, high and deep to left field. He has done it again. Wow, what a shot. 2-1, San Diego. Leyritz, I think, to take a bow. Got a new hero here in San Diego. Steve Finley, and he takes ball 1.
Well, Jim Leyritz loves, as he's proven, when the game is on the line, 5th career postseason home run, and all of them big. He has that attitude, boy. He comes right at you and says, hey, come get me. If you can, goes hard. Man, he crushed that pitch. Tough spot for a young 22-year-old.
Well, Leyritz has had 3 postseason homers in the 8th inning or later, whether it either tied the game or put his team ahead. Now he adds another one in the 7th inning of a tie ball game to put his team ahead.
Well, he says in those clutch situations, he knows late in the game the pressure is on the pitcher. He goes up there looking for a pitch. He's going to swing hard at it, try to do some damage. So that's a great attitude to have. He doesn't worry about the pressure. He feels it's on the...
Steve Finley down looking on strike 3 at number 2.
Pitch just right out there, very far off the plate. Pitch down, a good pitch. But Leyritz way off the plate, moving toward the ball, cranking it up. Extension, and he throws that bat away. That was a towering shot out there, about 415, 20 feet away.
2 down. Here is Carlos Hernandez, and he takes ball 1. We mentioned Jim Leyritz with 3 postseason homers in the 8th inning or later to tie the game or put his team ahead. Only 2 other players in Major League history have hit that many homers in those kinds of situations.
And they are?
Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Pretty good one.
Pretty good one.
Pete Rose.
Pete?
You don't expect to find him on a list for home runs, but he hit some big ones in postseason play. Carlos Hernandez twice grounded to short. And that's back out of play. Actually, based on his history, this one was a little bit early for Leyritz. Only the 7th inning.
Look at that. Davey Lowe's going to get a rotator cuff surgery.
Get up, get up. Yeah. That's a strike. 2-2 the count to Hernandez. And Jim Leyritz, how much damage can a guy do who has not played that much in this series? That's a foul ball. Or was it? He signaled foul ball. Then he pointed Hernandez to first base. Changed his mind. Did Jerry Lane.
Number 10, shortstop, Chris Gomez.
You know, some people just don't get caught up in the magnitude of the situation. Great players do it. Respond, Reggie Jackson. This pitch is just a fastball in. It runs a little bit more. He swung at the ball, almost swung at it. Ball hits him right there on his forearm.
Into the hole. Gutierrez to second. Got him! On one hop, Biggio stretching out like a first baseman to retire Hernandez on the ground ball by Gomez. 2-1 Padres. Jim Leyritz done it again. Bell, Bagwell, and Alou. The power coming up for Houston. Pivotal game of this best of 5. The Padres have gone back ahead 2-1 as we go to the 8th. Jim Leyritz. And you see there Leyritz wearing the number 39 on his hat in tribute to his former teammate, Darryl Strawberry, who today underwent surgery for colon cancer. And we understand everything went well. And we're very happy to hear that. And again, we send all of our prayers and best wishes to Darryl Strawberry and his family. They say the chances are very good of a complete recovery. We hope that rings true. Dan Maselli still in there, and Derek Bell, first ball swinging, has a base hit. He will hold at first base. First hit of the night for Derek Bell. So here come the Astros now. And Bagwell and Alou, their biggest hitters, are coming up.
First first baseman.
Derek
Jeff
Bell, that
Bagwell.
very flat swing, produces a lot of low-line drives. That ball hooking. Really a very good job by Vaughn circling this ball, getting the ball back in, makes an errant throw. Bell going as hard as he can, but the throw on his way back into the infield quickly, stops him, sends him back to first base. Two very good ball clubs here, huh? I mean, it's with the Braves and the Astros and the Padres, I don't think there's been three better National League clubs, more equally matched.
Well, we thought they'd all ended up with 100 wins, and the Padres fell just a couple of games short at the end with 98 as Dave Stewart out there to talk to Maselli. And meanwhile, Trevor Hoffman is getting up in the San Diego bullpen. All the other series are completed now, except for this one, as Hoffman starts to warm up. This series will continue here tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific Time at Qualcomm Stadium. And the Fox Network will have the telecast of it. And ESPN Radio will also be here with Charlie Steiner and Rick Sutcliffe. Big swing by Bagwell. He didn't get it. He's 0 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch in this game. Bagwell, who drove in 3 runs in Game 2 against Andy Ashby. He's been the man. Sammy Sosa was always talking about Mark McGwire being the man. Well, Bagwell has been the man in Houston for a long time. Strike 2 called on the outside. The slider, a beauty.
Yeah, Baggy has hit DeCilly pretty well. 3 for 7 lifetime with 1 home run. DeCilly making 2 very good pitches to jump ahead 0-2 in the count. Fastball away, looks like.
He wasted it. Actually, we looked it up after Spires. The left-handed hitter struck out when Maselli came in to end the 7th inning. Right-handed hitters have only hit 178 against Maselli this year. I mean, he's been death on right-handers, but lefties have hit 321. And yet Bochy made that move and it paid off. Popped up. Kilo Vilveras. Can't hang on to him.
Tried to be too careful. Actually, not that tough a play. The ball hung up in the air a long time. Got there and then looked like he tried to trap that ball against his belly button.
Now see that where they're sitting, Stewart and Bochy, they can't see this part of the ballpark.
No, they can't. But right there, I mean, that's just not something. That's like a 1 in a million shot for a major league player to miss that.
And that's why the stands jut out in front of the dugout area. 2-2 to Bagwell. No play is scored on that, but he was there.
Yeah, that ball has to be caught all day long. I mean, I say 1 in a million. You hit that ball all day long without the sun or the wind bothering you, and you catch that ball all day long.
And especially a big guy like this, Bagwell, a slugger, you cannot give him an extra life. He struck him out. So Maselli picks up his teammate Veras and gets Bagwell anyway.
That was a great pitch there. He took something off of it. Changeup, splitter, not sure what exactly, but after throwing 94 miles an hour, looks like a straight changeup. Great arm motion. Makes Bagwell look like it's, yeah, that's a straight changeup. Fastball rotation, 84 miles an hour, coming off a 93 mile an hour heater. I think is the best pitch in baseball. You throw a changeup off of a fastball with good arm motion, hitters just cannot detect the difference from a fastball.
Now Moises Alou, the Astros RBI leader. The slider in the dirt. Nice save by Carlos Hernandez. Alou is only 1 for 10 lifetime against Maselli. There you see it. Well, he gets one of their big sluggers, Bagwell. Now here's the other. The home run at RBI leader for the Astros, Moises Alou. Tonight, he has singled, flied out, and had an infield single. There's Derek Bell at first base, the possible tying run. The Padres lead 2-1. Good fastball over the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you're getting to a point right here with a guy throwing the ball right around the plate where you might want to start moving a runner. Derek Bell runs extremely well, as most of these Astros do, leading the league in stolen bases.
Over third base, Caminetti hugging the foul line, riding against the extra base hit. This one, let's see, they get one, back to first, two, double play. The side is retired. 2-1 San Diego.
Earlier tonight, the Braves and the Cubs. Atlanta looking for a sweep. Eddie Perez up with the bases loaded off Rod Beck. And goodbye. Grand slam in the 8th made it 6-0. The final was 6-2 Atlanta. The Braves sweep the series onto the NLCS.
All right, and a sad finish for the Cubs' great year. And Rod Beck, we talked about Brown tonight, not having much left. Well, Rod Beck.
Oh, he was tanked, man.
Just straight adrenaline these last few times out there.
Riggs decided to go with Mulholland, and they only had like a 5-man staff.
That's right. Not enough to beat the Atlanta Braves.
Not quite enough.
2-1 here. The Padres lead. A pinch hitter, Mark Sweeney, batting with Dan Miceli. We're in the last of the 8th, and of course, with the lead, the 9th inning will belong to one man, Trevor Hoffman. 2-0 the count for Sweeney. Trevor Hoffman, who had good warmed up during the first half of this inning. Crisp night here in San Diego. Temperatures in the low 60s. Extra jacket on. 3-0 to Sweeney. Ellerton cannot find the strike zone here. Leadoff man Kilvio Veras will follow. Tony Gwynn due up third in the inning. And a 4-pitch walk. Well, Larry Dierker showing amazing confidence in the young right-hander, who did a great job for the Astros. But a tough spot for a rookie to be in.
This is going to do a lot to allow him to grow. Larry Dierker's been great at developing the young pitchers. Lima really came on strong this year. Ryder Bergman, who's not so young, got great.
Vern Rule is coming out now. The pitching coach to talk to Ellerton. Ellerton pitched 57 innings in the regular season and only allowed 40 hits. And at 56 strikeouts, only 20 walks. I mean, he's the untouchable guy. You know, when they acquired Randy Johnson, the pitcher that they wanted was Ellerton. And the Astros said, no, if it's Ellerton, then there's no deal.
Right, he won 53 games in the minor leagues, just 22 years old, coming right out of high school. And they really think that this man is going to be a top of the rotation guy eventually, or 1 or 2 starter.
More bullpen activity for the Astros now as Veras shows bunt and takes strike one call. Doug Henry, a veteran right-hander, has started to warm up in the Astros bullpen. Ellerton is only 22 years old, from Colorado. Been in the Astros farm system since 1994. Runner goes. Bunted and missed. And this, look out. He did get it. Gutierrez ended up in a foot race with Sweeney. And, well, I'm sure Gutierrez knew in advance he was a little faster than Sweeney. I hope so.
I don't really see the benefits here. You got all your thunder coming up. Ideal situation, puts the hit and run on, gets a pitch you can't handle, and throws his bat at it, and he's dead meat. But right there, in my mind, and certainly, again, you don't second guess these managers, but why not go ahead and bunt the man over and then have all your thunder, Gwynn and Vaughn coming up there to drive him in, adding that one run. There's no need to. See, I thought.
Here's Tony Gwynn, and he made one of the big plays of the night with his arm.
Oh, he did. Looks how quickly he gets rid of this ball, throws the ball perfectly. Caminetti, just both ends of this. Diving in the dirt on a ball that was just a little bit down toward home plate. Bang, bang, play. That's the play of the ball game, really.
Gwynn takes ball one. Also, Gwynn beat out a would-be double play ball in the 6th inning that allowed the first run of the game to score. It would have been an inning-ending double play otherwise. And running with that bad Achilles tendon, which is causing him terrible pain. Nonetheless, with some help from Veras, who came in hard on Biggio at second, Gwynn was able to beat it out to get the RBI. He lofts one foul down the left field line, back toward the bullpen, where Trevor Hoffman is up and throwing again. And back in game one, Gwynn hustled to produce a run in the 6th inning of game one, legging out a double. That man's Mr. Automatic, isn't he? Tony Gwynn, nice to have him on your side. Yes, sir. 1-2 the count. Ooh, curveball from Ellerton. 2 down, nobody on. Greg Vaughn would be next. In the Astros' 9th inning, Carl Everett, Ricky Gutierrez, and Brad Ausmus are the hitters due up. And Gwynn goes after a bad ball to strike out. He said all these nice things about it. 9th inning coming up. Last chance for the Astros. 2-1. Here's Trevor Hoffman in the game now, and here's how they bring him in. Listen to the music that accompanies him. Everybody going. Kerry Wood, when he heard this earlier in the year, said, man, with that music playing, says I'd get 50 saves just from the adrenaline rush. There's ball one to Carl Everett. Trevor Hoffman, 53 saves and 54 chances. The only blown save he had all year was against the Houston Astros. He allowed a 9th inning home run to Moises Alou. The Padres, though, came back to win the ball game nonetheless. Ruben Rivera replacing Tony Gwynn in right field. And the Padres have not lost a game that they led going into the 9th inning in more than 2 years. The bunt, but foul. And it is 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was the great Hoffman changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Everett. Gutierrez is on deck. 2-1. The Padres are leading. The Padres really have to win this game. The changeup for the strikeout. Much you can do about it as a hitter. Watch this ball come out of his hand here. Fastball rotation ends up looking like a fastball. He throws that fastball 94, 95, throws a changeup 77. That's probably about 3 feet different. You just cannot do anything about it as a hitter. Now Gutierrez, who got the big stolen base against him. But Hoffman inherited Gutierrez in that game. It changed everything in the Thursday ball game. And Spires then drove home Gutierrez on the 4th changeup that Spires had seen in that at bat. Fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, a lot of that, the onus went on to Hoffman for not realizing that, but you have 2 middle infielders and a catcher that I believe have to be aware of that situation. Pitcher's thinking about one thing, getting people out. Changeup too high. 2-1. Gutierrez has walked twice and been hit once. He's been on base 3 straight times. 2-1 San Diego, 9th inning. Fastball. 2-2 the count.
Padre defense pretty much playing straight away, shedding the line just a little bit, Caminetti. Everybody else straight away. Joyner off the line.
Fouled off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Trevor Hoffman, his father, was a singer, also an usher in Anaheim for Angels games. Often sang the national anthem before games there. His mother was a ballerina before she met his dad. The changeup. Another strikeout. 2 down.
Another devastating changeup right out of the back of his hand. Chokes that ball back deep in his hand. Great arm motion right over the top. Looks like a pure four-seam fastball. And it just never seems to get there.
Pete Incaviglia is going to come up as a pinch hitter. And Stewart goes out to talk to Hoffman about Incaviglia. 2 down in the 9th inning. And our aerial views of Qualcomm Stadium with more than 65,000 people in attendance from the Goodyear Blimp Eagle. At the controls, pilot John Creighton. 1998 is the 100th anniversary of Goodyear and the 73rd for its blimp fleet. Always happy to see them. Here is Pete Incaviglia. Slugging right-handed hitter. It's almost as if Dirk here is just saying, maybe we'll get lucky and he'll pop one.
Well, he's throwing a guy up there that can hit some bombs. He has not played much this year. Likes the ball up and out over the plate. It's a guy that is capable of launching the ball if he happens to get lucky.
0-1. Man, this is a scene when Hoffman comes into a game. Since late July, they started playing that AC/DC song with the bells when he came in. The changeup. He's 1 strike away now from wrapping it up and putting the Padres ahead. Another changeup, and he took this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right when you think that you're going to sit on his changeup, then he runs that thing up there about 95, and you can't catch up to it. You just cannot sit on a changeup.
65,000 people are on their feet, waving their towel. The changeup, and the ball game is over. The Padres formula, especially in these last few weeks, the offense has not been there. And tonight, a whole lot of Kevin Brown, just enough of Mr. October, Jim Leyritz, and then the man who is all but automatic, Trevor Hoffman. And tonight, he was never more devastating. He strikes out the side to wrap up yet another save before the biggest crowd to ever see a baseball game in San Diego baseball history. Kevin Brown starting on short rest. And Jim Leyritz, for the 2nd consecutive game, gets the big home run. This time, it's the game winner. And so now the Padres are 1 game away from moving on to Atlanta. But they'll have to get through the big unit. We know now the big unit will go tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, as the Padres will try and keep it from going back to the Astrodome for a 5th game on Monday. If that happens, they won't have to face Randy Johnson there. Final score 2-1. The Padres win it. SportsCenter coming up next. John Miller for Ray Knight. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.